go with that documentation and try to understand, it might take at least a month time for you. Even though if you're coming from a production, I put it in the easiest way. Let's say there's a device. Think that this is a practical device. There's a device. So within this device, by enrolling this device to Intune, what you can do is you can actually create a isolation for your company apps. These are company apps. These are personal applications like your Netflix or Facebook or Twitter or Paint or OneDrive. This is OneDrive for business. This is personal OneDrive. Okay, so you can actually have a isolation, okay, within this, and these isolated area can be encrypted, okay, and also these application data can be encrypted, meaning if I connect this with a USB stick to my PC, okay, I cannot retrieve the data from here because it is gets the encrypted. Clear?
Got it.
So okay, this is securing point of view, okay, and also I can also do some additional settings, my friend. What are those settings are? Let's say it's pen. This is pen, right? Yeah. Let's say I wanted to restrict the copy, okay, data to my Facebook example. So corporate data, I don't want that to be copied to
Complaints.
Facebook. So these things also can be achieved, meaning how the interaction should happen between your personal and the managed apps also you can decide. Okay, so there's a bigger area, but you need a lot of testing when you're actually going in a production, a lot of things to be considered. Okay, so these are
Got it.
the any device. When we talk about this device enrollment, this is not just Android, it also talks about the iOS device also, same scenario whatever I have talked now. Let's be more specific to the Android now. Okay, so I'm going to the Android. So just wanted to tell you some background, like in the past you used to have Windows 95, then XP or Millennium, whatever it is, right? So there is some kind of evolution which happened on our operating systems. Similarly for Android also, there is a different evolution. What happened is when they release the operating system, they just put all the efforts with a root permissions level, not as an object level or maybe a kind of enterprise based devices. They never thought that a company can give for user a device. They never thought. Okay, so the entire focus was initially when they just started, it was on an Android device called DA. We call it as an Android device administrator, meaning there's some kind of management option. For that everything there is a root password is needed. Example, I'm just telling in a uh, wrong statements. I'm using a very wrong statements literally, but explaining in a right way for you. Okay, the wrong statements are like for everything you need a root kind of permissions kind of thing. So this is something wrong actually, right? So what they have done is this actually makes a lot of complications where you cannot manage either personal or manage kind of thing, encryption or individuality of those application layer. You never get it actually. So for that what they have done is they discontinued this is nobody using at this point of time. You have an Android device, but for the management side, when you talk about the management, people are not using Android device administrator. Okay, they are using actually Android for work or Android for enterprise. Okay, people also call for Android for work. Okay, but actual word is Android for enterprise. Okay, so Android per enterprise offering they are actually utilizing. So let's say now you have a device, so the same device in your hand, you have a mobile, uh, what is that, the Android device you have. So that device can be managed with a DA or with a Android offering. Okay, so now why we are talking all of this stuff is because Intune will fit on top of this, either enterprise offering or your DA. So this is nothing to do with the Microsoft. It is something to do with the Android operating system. Okay. Now, what is the direction that Google is doing? Google is saying that, hey, you just have to go for Android enterprise offering. Don't go for DA. Okay. So that's what their model. That's what their roadmap. So why means because you have a lot of flexibility in managing. Even if you find any kind of security bug, Android Enterprise can fix that in a 0-day support. It's the most secure way. A lot of flexibility. These things, if you just Google it, you will find out. But you just need to know only one word. There is a management capabilities with the DA and Android Enterprise offering. And what we use is in production 99.39s, we use Android Enterprise offering. Nobody uses DA. Okay, so that's what you need to understand. Now, I made it as very clear now. We are not going to work with Android device administrator point of view. Clear? We're not going to work anything on this. We are going to work only this because nobody using this. Even Microsoft also not pushing, Google also not pushing, community is not pushing, so nobody uses
It's
this.
expired.
Yeah, it's expired.
Retired.
So retired. So only this one. Okay, now let's talk about what is that you have. So let's say there is a device, my friend. There's a device. Let's think this device practically now. Let's go in a very real time practically. This device either you can buy and you can install your personal application on this device, and your company says that, hey, please also keep an eye on your Outlook, all of that. You can also install Outlook on your personal device, right? This is something called your own device. It's a personally owned. Can I use this word, personally used, right? So there's another one is your company actually buy the device on behalf of end users, right? So that's a, who owns the device? Device owned by your company. So companies will actually buy from Samsung or some kind of companies. They simply buy those things, those devices. Then what they do? They simply use them for their official purpose. Now the question comes here: how you're going to manage a device which is a personally owned and a device which is a corporate owned? So we can say that personally owned and corp owned, right? So two words we can make out of this discussion, and how we are going to manage. So that is something is possible with enterprise offering. Of course, here just the one method. There's no personal, there's no enterprise, just the one method. That's why we are not using this. I'm not going to talk on anything on this from now on. So on enterprise offering, you have four different options. So let's have a look on the first one. The first one is bring your own device. People also call as personally owned with work profile, meaning you have a device. This device owned by personal, a person, meaning you. It's you put your money to get this device, and with a little bit of work profile also there. Okay, how you're going to manage these kind of users, meaning you ask your end user to use their mobile, or you enable that for installing Outlook or some applications. Might be you're pushing some application, let's say Outlook license, or maybe you pushed maybe Word license from your company to personal device. How you're going to manage that? That's something called work profile with a personal owned device. Okay, so now other thing is and of course within this what happens, you will have the isolation, right? One would be the work profile, other one would be the personal profile. That should maintain. Okay, the uh, second thing is there's something called corporate owned with a work profile, meaning a device is owned by company, that's a corporate, and it also have personal application, also it has corporate application. Meaning, what is the difference between this one and this one? This is a bring your own device, meaning here also you have a personal applications and corporate application, one and the same, but the device is owned by, in this case you, I mean end user, in this case it's a corporation. So that's the only difference here. Okay, so meaning for a few users you would be offering to allow them to use maybe YouTube, for example, or maybe Facebook. They can use it. Let's take maybe Elon Musk example. He allows a Twitter to tweet it example. So company owns a device. So we offer for our director or MD. and he can install his personal application as well as a corporate application, but at the same time we will own the full permissions on this device. Let's say if he lost the device, we can wipe it. Okay, we can reset, um, all of that stuff we can do it. But here in a bring your own device concept, you can only wipe the corporate application data, not the personally owned. Clear? Clear here?
Yep.
Okay, so here other one would be the, it's a completely owned by corporate and fully managed, meaning there's no personal application, just the corporate application. The list that you approve only will be there. Okay, the last one is it's a dedicated kiosk kind of device. Like if you go to the supermarket, there's a barcoding machines. Those all also basically managed, that will have the Android operating system. Such devices, or maybe you go to airport, scan some passport or maybe a flight ticket, all of the devices also we consider as the Android operating system devices. So that devices will use only single purpose, um, single application will be there. So that kind of devices will be used as a COSU or Android Enterprise dedicated. Okay, so I was expecting you to remember within this slide only few words. One is there's something called a personal device, personally owned, and other three are corporate. That's it. I'm expecting you to remember at this point of time three options for corporate, one option for personal.
Yeah, we are
Personal
giving only
device.
COPV. That is for not Android, but it's for Apple.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Android, I don't know. Still, people are using Android
Yeah. People use
in
it.
companies.
They
I
all
don't.
yeah, they use it.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
here now, when it comes to the learning, I I have proper learning method. Always learn from option one and then go to this option two and then go to option three and then go to option four. This is how you should learn. That way it's easy to remember, easy to understand the concept. Okay, but Microsoft never gives in this way, they give on their own way. Okay, this is the easiest method to understand. I'm gonna explain again here. There's a personally, that's nothing but a bring your own device. This is similar to the bring your own device, but the device owns two company, meaning you'll have a personal applications as well as the company applications. In this case, only company applications. This is digital signing kiosk devices for a special task to achieve. Okay, so these are the four options. Let's say if you still don't remember what I was trying to explain here, I have created one more slide, easiest method. Okay, so easy to remember that. So you have here one option for bring your own device, which is owned by you. Okay, and three options for corporate owned. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
this is basically for information for workers. This is for the a specific task to be achieved with a single purpose. Let's say here some Chrome or something is there so that they can book the flight ticket, because that will only open a specific application. Example. Okay, so
Got it. Mm.
in this case, if you look at a little bit, you have a briefcase button on a work, meaning on a work applications and a personal applications will be like this. So there's a, if you just click on a personal, it will show the personal application. If you click on a work here, it will show here. So this is again depends on a MUI or your UI, depends how it looks like on your phone. So some phones will offer like this. For example, Huawei will offer like this, but if you have like MI or Vivo kind of thing, that will come only in a folder. All these applications will come into a single folder on the phone with a briefcase icon. Meaning, if you see something called a briefcase icon here, meaning it is actually coming from a managed Play Store, which you approve the applications as a company. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that's a first thing that you need to take out of this slide. And next thing would be the corporate owned with a work profile, meaning they also have a personal application like a Facebook or Twitter, whatever it is. But in this case also, basically the lock options will be available. Here there's no lock, nothing, including YouTube, or whatever the application that comes by default from your manufacturer. Let's say if you bought maybe mi phone or Vivo, they load some pre-loaded applications, right? Similarly, Samsung also does some their own. Sony does their own applications, right? So that all will be taken out, and only the applications will be there is the Chrome and Store, and these things again depends on your configurations. Okay, camera, all of that is again depends. So just the application that you approve will come up here, because it's a corporate owned. You don't find even YouTube also, which we cannot remove here or here in this case, right? But in this case, fully customized, because it's a pure Android enterprise offering. And this is very similar to this, but it will have few applications or just a single application for a special device. I'm not going to demo this, but I can demo these three things in the lab.
Okay.
Okay, because this needs a special application also, but demo purpose is the same. If you do this demo or do this demo, almost one and the same here also. Clear?
Got it.
Okay, if you try to read this, it takes some time, my friend, to understand. Uh, so here I put the with different colors the same thing which I explained. I'll go through in a easy and high level points. As I said, if it is a BYD or personally owned, you will have the briefcase icon. Okay, and
Hmm.
these are separated, maybe in a folder comes or like this. They would be personal or work. So work only application will show here, personal will show. So you can actually wipe only the applications, a specific application data, or maybe the profile of the isolation. Let's say this user is no more working with us, we can wipe up. Okay, in
Got it.
that time only this data will go off. And in this case, as a personal, so this is how you're gonna enroll. So enrollment also very important, my friend, which you need to remember. uh, in this case, this is the best place to explain. For this, you need to install the company portal. Okay, in these
Hmm.
cases, any of these corporate owned, there will be a barcode that you can scan it. Okay, and then you can log in and do the stuff
Multi-factor
for you.
authentication, you mean to say?
No, 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 no. What we do is we will generate from an Intune a token. Okay, that token will
Hmm.
be given for the devices. So when you scan that during the operating, when you start the machine, actually the phone, you need to tap somewhere 3 times continuously. Then it actually opens a camera to scan the barcode.
Oh, got it. Authentication. Okay.
Not the authentication also, for autopilot.
Authenticate.
Another way,
Okay.
it's called autopilot for devices to put it into the automated enrollment, automated corporate device enrollment process would happen based on
Hmm.
that stuff. Either you click 3 times or you enter. Um, there's a word called Android for work hash setup. Okay, if you put that value on email ID instead of the email ID, it normally, when you reset phone, what happens? It asks for the username and password, right? So instead of the
Exactly. Mm.
username, you put as the Android for work hash setup. Then automatically that recognize it's going to be a corporate device, and then it will open up that barcode, and barcode will go and connect once you scan it with Intune and get the token, and the required profile will get enrolled. So that's an offering that you have with the options. We are going to do it anyway, so that you know what we are trying to do. So, so that's what I was trying to say here. It's a company portal. In this case, personal device. Here you have a scanning code that needs to be done,
Hmm.
and here everything gets restricted, and it's not going to assign with any of the sign in. It's not associated with any user, the last option, because it's a dedicated device. Let's say there's an entry, attendance entry, or visitor management for your company, then you would actually use this application. Okay, uh, that's what the thing. So we